live, so we're going to be going live here in just a second. And sometimes it has this funny way of still saying it's processing when it's actually live. So I never really know exactly when that happens. But yes, we are live, and I'm going to go ahead and share into a couple of other groups. So thank you for being here. Facebook has
here with us on Zoom, or you're here with us at Facebook Live. Thank you for being here and welcome. We'll be starting very, very soon.
Yes, one more share here and we're ready to go. All righty. Fabulous. Fabulous. Yay. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. Let me start the Zoom recording. All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. So excited to see all of the beautiful names here today, and welcome for our Facebook people too, and for the people watching the recording, because I'm sure there will be quite a few of you as well. I'm excited to be live here today with Joan Brooks. And I'll tell you a little bit about Joan, but first I want to tell you, before I get into all the, the details about, her qualifications and everything, I just want to tell you why I love her.
That's a surprise. I wasn't expecting that.
I know. And you probably don't even realize this, because I don't know if I really shared it with you before. Joan is, well, she's one of the co-authors of the While We Were Silent book. And she is a beautiful support to women, especially women survivors who have been through trauma, have been through abuse. And what I love about Joan is she does not pull any punches, right? You see that beautiful, like that laughter and that smile that she has. She shows up as a strong presence with no apologies, no like game playing, no nothing. We're here to take back our power. We are here to be empowered. We're here to pretend that power was never even freaking taken away. And we are here in all of our glory and our beauty and our strength and everything that we have to give to the world. And we shine and we are, right? And I love about Joan, and I might try to see if there's a place to point this out. One of the things in the While We Were Silent group, or in the book, in her chapter there in that book, and in that interview, that she was very clear about is noticing our language. I'll give an example, and this is my favorite thing, because think about, I was actually writing an article the other day, and I started noticing how I was saying all of these things about how, this has happened to blah, 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 this has happened to blah, blah, blah. Joan likes to say, instead of saying, and I'm going to use an example, I was raped. Think about where that lands the blame and points the finger, right? Points the finger at those of us who have had these traumas that are still blaming ourselves as if we did something wrong. And she likes to put it back onto the person who was the perpetrator who did it, right? And the article I was writing, and it's like, no, I don't want to put it on I was raped. I want to put it on he raped me, or he raped her, right? It's a not so subtle thing, but when you think about how we do it, how our language points fingers at victims over and over and over again. The article I was writing was about climate change and about the harm done to the earth by our human choices. And it was like, no, let's take it off of the poor earth and say, the humans, we have to stop doing this. We are doing this, we have to stop, okay? So just know you have had an influence over me for the last 2 years in a very strong way. And I just carried that with me now, and it's very empowering, and it's just honest, it's truthful. It's no more playing games, no more pulling punches. Here we are. So I thank you for that.
Thank you, Debra. Thank you. And I really hope that people are listening. And even if you want to put in chat or in the Facebook comment, like one thing that you might have said of, oh, this happened to me, or I was, as if nobody else was involved. If you want to put one thing, it doesn't have to be the biggest, most horrible thing that ever happened to you, but to phrase it in a way that puts the and I'm going to use the word blame. It is blame that puts the blame, that puts the shame and the blame right where it belongs, on that person, not on us.
You're here. And responsibility.
And responsibility, thank you, that puts the responsibility where it belongs, not on us. It wasn't our fault. So I'm not seeing anything in chat. I'm going to invite you in chat. I'm not looking at Facebook. I just want you to know that I can't multitask.
I can, so go ahead and put it in Facebook. I'm looking at both.
Yeah, and I'll give you an example. And I'll just give you one from me and a fairly recent. Well, I'll just use this one. I was driving here yesterday. I'm at my sister's house in West Virginia. I'm not home right now. And when I was driving here, a car cut me off and I had to swerve. But when I was telling someone about it, I said, I had to swerve. I was scared to death. What the part I left off was the driver of a car cut me off and forced me onto the berm. So that was a fairly simple, not a big one. And yet I was saying it as if it was all me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're not alone in this world. And one of the things that our personal development and healing world likes to do is to say that it's not okay to be a victim. But let's be honest, there is a phase in everyone's life where you do not have control and you are a victim. Now, do we want to stay in that, in that place forever? And I mean, I think that's where the personal development says, okay, let's reclaim power from there. But at some point we do have to just admit that, yeah, I was a victim at this point in time, and that's okay to say that. I don't have to pretend that I wasn't a victim, I wasn't hurt, and then somehow owning that gives movement to that energy that has been just like stuck like this. Oh, it's not okay to be a victim. It's not okay to say that I was hurt. Yeah, I'm seeing some things come in the chat.
I'm seeing that's moving me. Thank you.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are posting this in chat, I invite you, what does it feel like in your body when you say, and I'm not going to repeat the words, Linda. I want, for you to say that for yourself. My father, not I was. My father did this. The student attacked me, raised scissors to strike me. And Mel is saying that it helped when you said that many people belong in jail because of what they did to me. They belong in jail. So Deborah, I hope I didn't get us off too much of a tangent. Oh, come on, baby, come back. Okay, I don't know if, I think Deborah dropped out. I thought it was me. Yeah, my ex mentally abused me. That happened. And I'm gonna, as we're waiting for Deborah to come back, I'll say a few more words about, I think it's a disservice. I kind of get where it's coming from, and I think it's a disservice when there's the, oh, don't be a victim, don't think like a victim, you're just a victim, or oh yeah, that happened to you, but you're not a victim. Yeah, we were. When things happened that you're talking about, Linda, what you're talking about, everybody who said something, most of us were young, most of us were children or young. And even if you were an adult and married, Barbara, we're raised as women. we're raised as females to think that's okay, that that's what we deserve. And so I want to repeat what Debra said is when I work with clients, I don't quite know how to put this. It's important for me and for them, I believe in their healing, that they really get what was done to them, what happened to them, rather or not they found, so that it's not, oh, well, I have to get past this or somehow it was my fault. So I was continuing on, Debra.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was you or me at first, and okay.
I thought it was, we were both having trouble with our internet, and I thought it was me, so.
Yeah, and I was, yeah, anyway, here we are, and I hope that we're still on Facebook. I might need to reset us there. Okay, I think we're still live. Good. Okay, sorry. Please continue.
Well, I was thinking we could come back to where not exactly where we started, but back to, I want to hear all the really good stuff about me, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, good. That's exactly where I wanted to go. All right. Thank you all. Sorry about that. Okay, let me tell you all the wonderful things about Joan now. And but you know what that was? That was already wonderful things about you. Okay, that was from my heart, and now I'm going to actually read your bio, which is all the wonderful things that you've done. Okay, it's all the wonderful things that you've done. Now, Joan Brooks is a certified Rubenfeld Synergist. She serves as training director and faculty at the Rubenfeld Synergy Training Institute. Joan is a body wisdom and trauma healing master. Her mission is to help women stop blaming themselves for something they didn't do. There we go. So they can trust themselves and others, set boundaries, and speak their truth, perhaps for the first time ever. With 8 years of training and almost 20 years of experience, Joan uses the Rubenfeld Synergy method, working with the person's own body to find transformational healing. Joan knows from personal experience and working with her clients that when women heal from sexual trauma, they can stand fully in their power and take their rightful place in the world. When women take their rightful place in the world, they can change the world. As I said earlier, Joan was a co-author and contributor in the While We Were Silent project. She has been a support to our online Facebook community for the past 2 years. Thank you, Joan. Welcome. All right, I'm turning it back over to you. I have no idea where you left off.
So just taking a moment to gather myself and gather my thoughts.
Okay. If you'd like, if you weren't in the middle of, something, I'm happy to pose a question.
I think that would be good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the question that I'd actually like to start with is how you, if you don't mind sharing a little bit about your story and a little bit about your journey and how you got to be the powerful healer and teacher that you are today. Mm-hmm. And the incredible rock of support.
Oh.
And inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you.
That you are today. Thank you.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, I was not always this way. Trying to, what do I want to say that feels important about myself? So I was raised with a lot of trauma. I had a lot of trauma. There were, later in life, I thought, I don't know how I survived it, honestly. I know that there was some part of me that was, I don't know if determination is the right word, but there was some part of me that could not be killed. And I had a lot of wounding and I was raped 3 times. No, 3 different men raped me. As one of the results of a rape, I became pregnant. My mother was alcoholic. She passed over a year ago, but my mother was alcoholic for most of my life. And so I had a lot of trauma. I had a lot of wounding. I mostly took it out on my own kids. I had 3 kids by the time I was 19. One is the result of a rape. And so at some point, and I entered Al-Anon. I was maybe in my mid-ish 20s, something, 20 something. And that saved my life. That saved my life. And it showed me in time, not right away, but in time, Debra, it showed me that my life didn't have to be this way. I was living in hell. I had a good job. I was one of those people, one of those, I don't know, luckier people or whatever the word for it is, that I managed to professionally thrive while personally dying. And I would drive from work every day crying my eyes out. I don't know how I'm going to get through this day. I don't know how I'm going to get through this weekend. I don't know how I'm going to get through this week. And I'd get to work and I would be smiles and competent and effective. And then I'd get in the car and it would go, phoom. And by this time my kids were getting older. My oldest daughter was hell on wheels. And so in Al-Anon, I learned through the wonderful people who shared that room with me, those tables with me, that my life did not have to be this way. That life did not have to be one constant struggle, one constant heartache, one constant feeling guilt and shame because of the way I was treating my kids. That's still really tender for me, really tender. Yeah. And by this time, so in time, I was hired as an air traffic controller and started my own healing journey. I started my own, through Al-Anon. Like that was the flavor. That was the place I got hope. That was the place I saw it doesn't have to be this way. Maybe there is hope for me. Maybe I'm not hopeless. And so I started on my own healing journey. And as I continued on that healing journey, at some point I was promoted and moved to Seattle. And in Seattle, I belonged to a healing circle. And so every week we would meet and people would come in and show us the healing modalities that they used. And I would often go see them as a client. And in time, I knew that I wanted to be in the healing arts. And I'm going to put it this way. I didn't give a flying fuck about flying. I didn't like to fly. And it was I made a lot of money. And it was a prestigious job. I had great benefits, and it was soul murdering to me to work in that environment. And in time, I discovered, I attended a workshop in Washington. I moved to Washington, D.C. I worked in FAA headquarters. And at that time, I went to a Common Boundaries conference, and I attended a workshop that was given by Alana Rubenfeld. And she said, and I knew that I wanted to get into healing arts. I knew whatever I did had to combine touch and talk. And in the first 15, 20 minutes, she said, I call my work the listening hand. I knew at that moment, that was the work I would do the rest of my life. At the end of that day-long workshop, I knew that I would teach this work.
Beautiful. That was your sign.
And I quit a 6-figure job, and here I am.
Beautiful. Thank you for taking that huge giant leap that you took, because I know that a lot of hearts have been touched and a lot of lives have been transformed because of that courageous leap. Thank you.
Thank you, Debra. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, my life certainly has been transformed from that person who raged at home and at work. Nobody knew what was happening. Nobody knew what my real life was like.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's so powerful what you said about, I'm paraphrasing because you said something to the effect of professionally thriving and personally dying. And I mean, that is so powerful because, you know, and I think it happens more than we realize with people, right? Professionally kicking butt and personally dying inside. So, yeah, and I love your, you know, what you shared about going to the Al-Anon meeting also. That's an incredible, powerful resource that, you know, thank goodness for it, for that. It's a huge one. So tell us then, as you then got your download or whatever you want to call it, you're knowing that you were going to teach Rubenfeld Synergy. Can you tell us what was like if there was one turning point in your journey where you went from I'm going to say primarily, because I think we're always both healer and healee, right? I think we're always both, no matter where we are. Was there a turning point when you went from primarily healee to primarily healer, or you knew that you like had reached that place where you you knew you were going to be okay and you had something to give, or you could start giving?
Yeah, you know, I didn't. It's funny. I don't think I ever thought of it as thinking, knowing I was going to be okay. I don't know when I actually thought that. It was when I lived in Seattle and I was part of that healing circle, and my life was getting better. And I was seeing and meeting and knowing people who were you know, doing both healer and healee. And and it was, I've always really loved and believed in women. I've always really believed in women and believed in who we are and what we can do in the world, and and also how we have been squashed and silenced. Someone said women are taught to be silent.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that next, but so we'll get more into that. Yes, please.
And so I don't know that I have a clear-cut eureka moment or clear-cut turning point, but it's almost the image I have as I say that, it's almost like I turned the ship around. So, you know, you don't do that on a dime. Like somehow I turned it around from I'm never going to survive, I don't know if I'm going to make it through this week, to I know I can help other women find their strength, their power, their core.
Yeah, beautiful. So there is a comment in the chat that says females are taught by society to remain silent. Hence the book. Where is it here? If you haven't seen this, Joan is one of the co-authors, and I'm the interviewer that interviewed these lovely women here. And I've got my own piece in the back of the book. Take a look at this. Joan's complete story and all of her information is in here as well. You're right on. We're taught to remain silent. And as we remain silent about our struggles, abuse, all of our trials, there's a lot that happens. So Joan, if you want to respond to that and give your any words of wisdom you have about our silence as women and our overcoming or breaking through, shall we say, breaking through the silence.
Yeah, I love the word breaking through the silence. And, you know, the book is titled While We Were Silent. I say while we were silenced.
Yes, yes, I love that you said that.
They silenced us.
Mm-hmm.
Not born, women, females, girls are not born not being able to speak up. If you go to a kindergarten classroom and you say, how many of you can paint? Everybody. How many of you can sing? Everybody. How many of you can dance? Everybody. If you go to a 4th grade classroom, how many of you can paint, sing, dance? And even more for women, even more for the girls. And so the finding our voice, and I think if I could say one thing, is I found my voice. I found my voice. And I'm not saying I did this, like it wasn't consciously doing this. I found my voice and I use it, and I hope I always continue to use it to advocate. So to advocate for women, to advocate for people of color, to advocate for the oppressed groups.
Yeah, beautiful. I'm reading in the chat, it says, females are taught by society to remain silent. It's also taught about not loving ourselves. And Nan says, females don't matter, centuries old. My mother helped me find my voice. She showed me how to rock the boat.
Good for you, Nan.
Yeah, good for you, and kudos for your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So Joan, then you found the, I want us to be sure that we get to the demo, and I don't want to rush you to it. So is there anything else you want to say about, like, about that owning your voice, speaking up, that reclaiming our truth as women? Because all of these things are lies. Mm-hmm. All of these things are lies. Reclaiming our truth, or if you want to, you know, I mean, how is it that we go from me to silent, to no response? What happens? Insights on that?
Mm-hmm. So there's a term in psychology called overdetermined. That something is overdetermined, which means there are many things that have led to that. So that where, and it happens to boys too. It happens to girls differently. Boys are still allowed to be rambunctious and smart and say out the answers. They're called on more than girls. They're encouraged to go into the smart subjects of study. Girls are discouraged, and so how we get silenced is overdetermined. There's the familiar, so there's our families. Nan, you're an exception. I would say for everybody listening to us or who may listen to us, Nan, I'd say you're the exception, or one of the exceptions, and however many there are going to be eventually who are now here will. Our families silence us, especially if there's boys and girls. The girls will often, and I don't want to say always, there's nothing always, as a general rule, the girl, you know, either they'll be more expected of them or less expected of them. So our families, our societies, let's be real clear. Sexism, misogyny is rampant in our culture, rampant. Look what happened to Hillary Clinton in 2016, should you have any doubt about that. So it's our families, our communities, our cultures, the church, whatever your religious affiliation, it's, bless you, whatever you believe. The church has taught us that women are demons, are to be subjugated, and to be that we're dangerous. The body is dangerous, and the body is associated with female. The mind is male, masculine. The body is female. And so why we're silenced and how we're silenced is overdetermined. It comes from every angle, every aspect of our lives. There's a book called The Politics of Trauma. Stacey, Haines, outstanding book that talks about the multifaceted ways that trauma happens.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that sounds wonderful. Yeah. So then, reclaiming your voice. Would you like to make your demo session about reclaiming voice, reclaiming power?
Absolutely. That would be lovely.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I would like that. And so I'm going to offer a free gift at the end. I kind of want to tie in the free gift a little bit, if I may, Debra, so that it.
Yeah, sure.
So I had a whole way I was going to talk about this, and now, of course, I can't remember any of it because I'm so engaged in the moment. So back in early May, I was asked to do a webinar for members of the United States Association of Body Psychotherapy. And I ended up doing a webinar on May 7th. So kind of right, like we're still, most places are still closed down. We're still in quarantine. And so I decided to do the webinar. Well, let me just say first, for those of you who don't know, in my work with clients in Rubenfeld Synergy, and there's several Rubenfeld Synergists on here I want to add.
And I see you have quite a fan club. Let me read a couple of these. Joan taught me about my birthright. Joan taught me to own my leadership. And these are different people saying this, okay? And yeah, beautiful. You've got a beautiful fan club here.
I do. Thank you. These are my my fellow synergists, my colleagues.
Welcome for you. Thank you so much for being here. And yes.
So in the work we use respectful listening, touch, and movement. And
I see you motioning the listening hands.
Yeah. So my listening hands, right? Listening hands. I listen with my hands. I listen with my ears, with my eyes, with my whole body. And I listen with my hands because touch is a viable form of communication, two-way nonverbal communication. And so as I prepared for this webinar, what I was going to do the webinar was no longer relevant. People were still not seeing, I'm still not seeing my clients in person. So I wanted to look at, okay, how could I talk about translating listening, respectful touch, and what I call body dialogue. It's different than the talk you and I are doing, Debra, and dialogue. How could I translate that to online sessions? And so that was what my webinar was about. That is what my free gift is about. It's called, I hope someone can help me here. I didn't write it down.
Uh-oh. Let me see if you wrote it down when I.
Integrate touch into your online, no.
Accelerate your client. I think, yeah, that was it. Accelerate your client's personal healing and growth.
That's the name of my program. So anyway, it's about integrating touch and dialogue into online sessions. It's an e-booklet. And it can also be used. So for those of you who are not practitioners, you might be saying, well, why do I want this? Because you can also integrate those exact practices into work with yourself. You can use those practices to make contact and to listen to the deep healing wisdom of your body. Our bodies are our best resource. And so with that, I wanted to give people an idea of why I was going to be offering a free gift and how it's going to be related to what we're going to be doing. I see you, Danusa. I'm also going to give you a way to get in touch with me. And
there's a question about that in the Facebook group too. So
okay, thank
you, Sandra. We'll be sharing that information on how you can get in touch with Joan and find out more about Rubenfeld Synergy. So
let me just take a drink before I continue.
Okay.
So Debra and I will be doing a demo session. It will be real. It will be a real session, but it won't be a full set, it won't be a full session like I would do with a client. And
how long is a full session with a client usually?
About an hour.
Okay.
About an hour. And what I'm inviting those of you watching us, and even those who are watching the video or listening later, I invite you to follow along.
Yes. And
notice what you experience in your body. Okay. So are you ready, Debra? Is there anything more before we begin?
I'm sorry, ask that question.
Is there anything more before we begin?
I think that, no, I'm ready. And I think that, any questions that want to come up, we'll open up for people to put questions in the chat about Rubenfeld Synergy, about the process, about, whatever as we come through the demo. I love being the demo. Not everybody, you're also being the demo. So
yes.
You just don't have to be seen.
And also, I want you to know I'm not going to stop and look at the chat while I'm working with Debra, but we will definitely look at your questions and comments afterwards and respond to as many as we can. So let's begin, Debra. And I may, for the purposes of our audience, talk a little bit out loud about what I'm doing that I probably wouldn't do with a client. Would that be okay?
That is totally okay. Yes.
So right now I'm looking at you.
I feel that.
And I'm coming more and more into my body. It's what I call my power of presence is in my pelvis. So I'm moving into my pelvis so that I can be fully present with you.
Beautiful. I teach that too. And I see there are a couple of people who have just finished a class with me where we really focused on that power of presence.
Yeah. And so you had said, Debra, maybe we could make this about finding our voice. Is that, I'm trying to remember back to exactly what you said. Yeah.
Sure. Yes.
So as you for yourself start to become aware of your body. Yeah, I see you softly closing your eyes, starting to move in. And we're going to be less and less and less concerned about the chat. And as I'm going to make a statement, and I'd like you to notice what you feel in your body. what you notice in your body. And I invite others to do this who are watching us. So Debra, when I say, Debra, find your voice, what happens in your body?
I feel real, like a heat and warmth here. I like as my voice comes from here, but I also felt like a kind of an uncomfortable, like a bubble of air coming up through my throat.
Yeah, so would you be willing to place your hand just softly on your chest where you felt that warmth?
Mm-hmm.
So I heard the warmth and also the bubble of air, and we'll get to that in a moment, okay? Yeah. Yeah, and as you have your hand here, what do you notice? Could be physical sensations, it could be an image, a sound.
There's a nice a relaxation that's coming into the chest and there's so there's a softening there and almost like a relaxing into myself and a quietening, relaxing into myself. I see how this is enlightening because and hear my voice start to crack a little.
Yeah.
So the like I feel like I connect with my heart to speak from my heart, but when I do that, I go more inward into a quiet space instead of coming out into a vocal, and so it's almost like a forced vocalization instead of being in my heart and present with my expression.
Okay. So I'm going to pause for just a moment. I'm really with this idea of, you said softening into, relaxing into. And you could also hear your voice cracking. I could hear your voice cracking.
Mm-hmm.
There was this bubble of air.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you soften, when you speak, when you come into your heart to speak, what happens as it starts to move up? And you may notice something now. Like what happens as you start to speak?
Yeah, it's almost like this shuts off.
Okay.
And I disappear into myself.
Okay. Oh, do you see? Don't stay just that way. What do you see as you look at yourself, at your video? What do you see?
Yeah, I see my head forward and my chest way back.
Yeah.
Like this, a disconnect.
What's this? What's this?
This is, it's like there's a disconnect and I have to like force, it's a forced passageway. I have to force the path out.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of work.
It does, yes, it feels like a lot of work.
This felt easy and soft and yes. And so I'm going to invite you, if you would, to keep one hand on your chest and put one hand just very, very softly. So the kind of touch I'm talking about is this soft, full contact. I'm not putting any pressure. I'm not putting any weight. And so making as soft a contact as you can. And invite what do you notice in your throat or your neck as you make contact there?
I notice a lot of energy moving between my heart center and my throat, and really like the connection being made, and just the energy is just pouring out. I'm not really aware of the nature of it, or the sort, the voices or pictures of beliefs or anything behind it. I just feel a lot of energy moving.
Okay, so there's a lot of energy moving from your heart to your throat.
Like up through.
Yeah.
Like
up all the way through, or does it get stopped somewhere?
It feels like there's a lot that's moving like up and out.
Is there a sound that would come with that? And no, there's no forcing. It could just be energy.
Let's see. And it felt like that was like wanting to go sideways here. It wasn't wanting to go straight. That sound was like wanting to make a turn to like a block over here on the side.
So a sound starting, but getting blocked and moving over. So and tell me if this is accurate or not. Not being able to come fully up and out.
Yeah, it was like it comes to a certain point and then it wants to go sideways, and like it can't, like the block is over here.
So the block is on the other side.
Yeah.
And would you just really, just gently as you can, make contact with that? Yeah, that's it. Again, no pressure, no weight, just gentle, like I am being with you as you are right now. That's the message. What do you notice as you're?
There's a lot of energy moving out of this whole jawline here, and this part of my throat, and my upper part of my shoulder here. And my whole shoulder is relaxing. It feels, it's letting go of a lot of tension.
Yeah. And what, Debra, what do you, like, is that releasing? And that's the word I'm using. That movement's happening. What's allowing that movement to happen? What's helping it or allowing that movement? And this is so you can be aware.
What's helping it, allowing the movement? Yeah. Feels like maybe just bringing attention there, bringing focus there. It's like electrical circuitry is opening up. The flow.
You know, that often happens, bringing awareness, paying attention.
And the touch too, like the touch completes the energetic circuitry.
Okay. The touch completes the energetic circuitry. So one last time, would you see if there's a sound or a word that wants to come up from the heart and be expressed?
Like it's a primal.
Yeah. And is that coming from your heart, or is that coming from lower in your body? I'm curious.
It feels like it's coming from like, or at least through here. Maybe, yeah, I'm kind of curving in. So maybe it is like belly through, belly coming up through the vocal cords and the, it's like a primal preverbal. I need 3 hands. Let's see. I think I'm going to put one on my belly and one here.
Yeah, good. Belly. One closing the circuit.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Now that comes from the. Yeah. And that's opening up from behind this other shoulder too. Excuse me. Excuse me. I need to get a drink of water. Yes.
I'm going to invite you to exaggerate the cough.
Okay.
No, even exaggerate, even not to force it.
Okay.
But let it. Right. Whatever's with you right now.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever sound. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Even let your mouth, I see your teeth, your mouth.
That felt good.
Yeah, it felt good in my body. What? Tell me what? Tell me, like what did good feel like in your body?
Oh, it felt like it freed up my low belly to speak. Like it gave voice. Do you feel the difference?
Yes.
I feel the difference. It gave voice to my belly.
Yes.
Oh, it freed. I want to do it again. Can I do it again?
Absolutely, please.
Okay. If you're listening, by all means, join in.
Yes.
If it's, or with whatever sounds you're making. I hope you're doing this. I hope you're following along. Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah.
It's like the belly is being freed up. It is like a primordial, preverbal, infancy, womb, I don't know which, but like a silencing from way back then is probably our collective of being silenced over so many centuries of just coming in and like opening up and giving voice and giving a passageway for that voice to move through my body. And it feels like one complete passageway now, not this. Wow.
Debra.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. Oh my goodness.
For you, for me, you were powerful before, and now, just now when you spoke, it was like, this is a woman I want on my side. This is a woman I want on my team. This is a woman I want with me when I'm going to kick ass.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful. I'd love to be there with you because I
Yeah.
want you on my team when I'm going to kick ass too.
That's right. And this is so for me, this is what I call my wild and dark core.
Oh.
The part that I believe couldn't be killed and yet had to go into deep hiding.
Yes. Yes. Oh my. Uh-huh.
So when as that gets freer and freer in me, I have more of me available, more of my magnificence, my wisdom, my brilliance, my intelligence, my deep ancient knowing. I have more of that available to me.
Yeah, it is the ancient. I can feel the ancient.
Yeah.
I can feel the ancient, like really flooding into my whole pelvic bowl and my whole abdominal space, and really like taking up its homestead.
Yes, taking up its homestead.
Yeah, the ancient wisdom is homesteading in my pelvis.
Yes.
Welcome for you.
Welcome, ancient wisdom.
Oh.
Welcome back home.
Yes. Beautiful. Do try this at home.
Do try this at home. These are techniques that you can use with yourself. So I think Debra and I both need a moment to shift. I know I do.
Oh, I don't want to come out of this, but I'm with you.
Stay there and
yeah, well, this is integrated now. I mean, I really feel like I'm not coming out of this.
No,
it's here.
No.
It's here. I'm here. We're here together. Beautiful. Wow. Yes.
So I'm here. I'm seeing. I'll look on chat if you'll look on Facebook.
Okay.
What I'd like to ask, whether you're on chat or on Facebook, if you're willing to put in comments or in chat, one, if you followed along, or even if you didn't, like, what did you feel in your body as Debra went through this, as you witnessed her? What did you experience in your body?
I can say I'm looking. Let me. I'm just reading some of the messages in the chat.
Me too.
Yes.
Love your posture, Debra. It was so different.
What was different?
The way you're holding your body.
The
way you're in your body, the way you're holding your body is different.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay. Shall I read the chat?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, this was happening during the session. Touch is valuable and important for connecting. I love Debra's awareness. The touch completes the energetic circuitry. That's synergy. It sounded great. Beautiful. I am clapping. I can hear the difference too. Release, yes. Aha. Giving voice, giving birth. One complete passageway. Thank you, Joan, for totally being with Debra. I second that. Thank you, Joan, for totally being with me. Love your posture, Debra. Beautiful. Love the connection between Joan and Debra. I do too. Feeling the ancient flooding her body. Beautiful. This is so very beautiful. Thank you. Powerful. Love that ancient wisdom. Thank you. You look stronger. I feel stronger. Empowering. I feel more empowered. So powerful to see your powerful voice. Yes, thank you. More power and a knowing what is available to us. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes. My whole self was almost lifting off the chair with pride and empowerment. Beautiful. I feel tears in my eyes. Happy and sad that female voices are shut down and not honored. Throat is feeling choked up. Do you want to, let's see, I see a little impishness in your face, Debra, right there with your power. Lots of breath release, yawns, less restrictions in the throat. Okay, so that's I think someone speaking of her own experience, because that's when you ask for people to enter in their own experience. So that would be her own experience. Lots of breath release, yawns, and restrictions in the throat. I felt a lot with my chest first, heartache, almost like being held down and a constricted throat. Attention was the key to discuss this. I'm sorry, to discover this. I need glasses. Per the guidance. And there was, and also there's a glare on my screen. And there was some relief just with the discovery and some soothing. I experienced that as well. As soon as you bring the attention there, the energy starts to move, the release starts to happen. And then the coaching and the guidance from there to really like connect in with it and move it in a powerful, effective way was just wonderful. All right. And I felt the strength and wisdom of my body along with movement of energy. First, my lower back started getting louder until my voice got stronger. It was like watching you give birth to a part of yourself. Yes, it was. Beautiful. Thank you. And yes, on Facebook, it says, I wanted to honor Debra's moment. I will practice my sounds later. I wanted to honor Debra's moment as very empowering to all. I felt that deep balance in my chest and my throat. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yay. Thank you, Joan. Joan, would you like to say anything from your perspective or teaching moment? or if you want to address also anything in the any that people are experiencing.
So appreciative of all the comments. I felt like everybody was really engaged and with us, and that's so important. Yeah. I really all of it, you know, your awarenesses of Debra, of what was happening between us. I love your observations and your awarenesses of what was happening with you. Even then, when like your vote was tightened or constricted, like that's an awareness and an invitation to be with that. A couple of things I wanted to say was, well, one's gone, but I do remember the other one. One was, I didn't give you, Debra, anything. I didn't give it to you. And this is important. Our clients can think, oh, whatever you did gave this to me. No, what I helped you to do was discover it, to pay attention to it, and to allow it to move and evolve in whatever way it did. Whatever you had done in that session would have been good with me. If we had spent the whole time with a constricted throat, that would have been perfect. So I want to say I didn't give it to you. And I don't believe you thought that. I'm not saying that you thought that, and yet someone could look at this and say, oh, somehow she gave that to her, or that's a thought that people have. I'm going to go see someone and they're going to give me my power. They're going to give me my voice. No,
Right.
I'm going to help you uncover, recover, and discover your own power, your own voice, and free it up.
Beautiful. Yes, because I can honestly say that I feel what has come into my body, whether you gave it or not, you couldn't possibly take it away. And sometimes, you know, that sense of you gave it to me, therefore you can take it away. No, this is
Wow.
in me. It's integrating, it's anchored, it's in me.
And it's not about being in session with me. Yes, I help to facilitate that. Yes, I teach my clients how to use these processes and practices when they're not in session. Yes, that's an important piece, but it's not just when you're in a session with me. That your access to this ancient wisdom, this ancient knowing, that's yours. As you said it beautifully, it's integrated, it's in me. It's not dependent on Joan. And that's really important.
Yes.
For people observing, because there's subtle ways that can happen that we think, oh, this only could happen when I'm in session, or this only will. It can take time for that to happen. But it's you're integrating very quickly, and not everybody does that, and yet that's yours. It's not dependent on me.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful points. Okay, yes. A lot of beautiful. Yes. Okay, and on Facebook it says, I felt a zero balance between my heart and my throat. It's a zero balance, like, as I believe that's probably referring to zero balancing as the ability. Oh, beautiful.
So, Deborah, I don't know.
Is growing.
I don't know if we have time to ask questions, or if I should put the link for my free gift in chat. I'm not sure what you want to do right now.
Okay, thank you. So yes, let's go ahead and you gave people a little bit of information. Joan does have a free gift for you. Please download her free gift. Do you have the link handy to put in chat, and I'll copy it and put it in?
Yeah, I have it right here. Oh.
Okay, and if you're listening to recording of the video or the audio on podcast, then just look in the show notes, in the blog post, in wherever you may find this video, and I'll put this link underneath it on how you can reach Joan, how you can get her free gift, how you can learn more about the Rubenfeld Synergy integrated healing work, somatic healing work, integrative somatic healing work. Do I say that correctly? Yes. Okay, beautiful. And Joan, I'm going to share that over in Facebook, and I want to, hold on, that's not what shared. I'm going to try that one more time. Joan, I want to thank you so much for, for this gift, the gift to me, the gift to the people who are watching, and who are also receiving from you. There we go.
Hold on.
It's been very powerful.
Deborah,
okay.
Just a minute. I put the link only to panelists. Thank you, Carol, for letting me know.
Yes, thank you, Carol.
I have not put it to everyone. Can everybody now?
Yes, now it's there for everyone.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And that link will, when you request that free gift, it will also tell you how you can get in touch with me.
Beautiful. So that takes you to your website, and there's your beautiful picture there. Okay.
I have to admit, I love that picture. So
It's a beautiful picture. I know. I love that picture too. Anyway, I love both of your pictures that I have of you that I use for you. They're gorgeous. And they both show just, what your vibrance and your power and your joy and your wisdom and everything and your strength. It all comes through. It all shines. And I so greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate you and what you share every time we get together. I'm sure that's only the times you share it because you don't. I'm just kidding.
If you don't catch me on video with Debra, you're not going to get to see it.
That's right. Oh, no, Joan, it's so clear that it is who you are. And I so greatly appreciate you. So thank you so much for being here. And unless you have anything else that you want to share with our people as a closing words of wisdom, you want to tap in for that? We'll close with this.
The name of one of my websites is Your Body is Your Best Friend. If I can leave you with those few words, your body is your best friend. Learn to listen to her.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. With that, those words of wisdom will close out. I do hope you get in touch with Joan. You're welcome. You'll find a replay of this as well on the Joyfully Living Wellness website, the Self-Care for the Soul podcast, the Facebook Joyfully Living Wellness Facebook page, and in the Facebook groups as well, Community for Conscious Living While We Were Silent, everywhere. And hopefully, Joan, you'll share it in your pages as well. All right, thank you all so much. It's been lovely, wonderful. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks.